Hi, and welcome to the Ziggy Zone. We are so excited. We are days away from the season opener for the 2015 NFL season. I know we've all been waiting, 7 months for this day. I'm so excited. I'm going to go ahead and bring you my picks for week 1. Um, there are some old favorites. There are some new teams that are coming up the chain. So I'm going to dive right in, starting with Thursday with the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the New England Patriots in Foxborough. I can't imagine that Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, defending Super Bowl champions, would lose the season opener at home. Uh, I call Tom Brady a magician, and I'm sure he would do anything and everything to make sure that game 1 they got, especially at home. So, yep, we got the Patriots over the Steelers. On Sunday, the Green Bay Packers will be traveling down to Chicago to take on the Bears. And this game to me is a tale of two quarterbacks. You have Jay Cutler and you have Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback. He has a Super Bowl ring. So as much as no, Green Bay. Sorry, that's that. And the next game is the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Houston Texans in Houston. I loved Hard Knocks. Unfortunately, Houston's offense, it's suspect. It's really suspect. And I can't imagine. Yeah, I just can't. Houston has a good defense. Their defense is straight. You have to score, right? You have to score points. That's the kind of point of the game. Kansas City, their offense have been together a little bit longer, so I think that they'll definitely get it rolling. And for that reason alone, I'm going to give the win over to Kansas City. Um, Houston, they'll need a couple more weeks to really work together to see, how their offense will click. The next game of the day is the Cleveland Browns at the New York Jets in New York. And the Jets and the Browns. Those two teams, I think that they definitely are equally yoked. Um, they're not elite teams. They're probably floating around in the middle. Richard Sherman voice mediocre. Um, but I'm going to give the win to Cleveland because I think Johnny's the starting quarterback now. And I would like to see what he can do. We didn't really watch him play last year, and he was so hyped, which always annoys me. I don't think players and teams should be hyped like that. Um, so yeah, I'm really excited to see what he can do, and I really I want to see if he can put together a win. So I'm going to give the win over to the Browns. The next game of the day is the Indianapolis Colts versus the Buffalo Bills. And I must say, this offseason, the Bills have definitely acquired some pieces. Rex Ryan is now their head coach. LaShawn McCoy is their running back. Their quarterback situation is still, you never really know about their quarterback situation. But let's see if it works. I really am excited to see how that comes together. Um, we know that the Bills are usually good with winning like the first couple of games of the season, and then like after that they just start to lose. We also know that Indianapolis is a pretty good team. They've had their core together for a while, and I'm sure they're just going to keep it rolling. I'm going to give the edge to Buffalo just because, again, they're at home, season opener, and they're known for winning early in the season. And again, Rex Ryan, who I actually really like, is the coach now. The next game is the Miami Dolphins at the Washington Redskins. Yeah, so Miami. Why? I mean, Kirk Cousins, definitely this is an opportunity for him to prove himself. Um, being that RG3 is now his backup. A lot of dysfunction going on down there. Maybe Deshaun Jackson will, stun the world and really have an amazing game. I don't know. But yeah, we're going to go with Miami, and plus their uniforms are very pretty. Next, Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are a team. I think they're only a franchise because the NFL needed an even number of teams in the league. I think that if there was only a need for 31 teams, there wouldn't be any Jacksonville Jaguars. I just don't ever recall them winning. And I'm at a point now where I really, really, really want them to win. Like, I need them to win. Unless they're like paying people to like lose, right? If that's what they want to do is lose, then fine, lose. But if that's not what they want, I really need them to win. As pretty as their uniforms are, and everyone knows that the Jaguars have the prettiest uniforms in the league to me. Like those helmets, oh my gosh, the matte black. Anyway, this isn't New York Fashion Week. We're not here judging uniforms. But nevertheless, Carolina, they'll win, because if they don't, they'll be laughed back to Carolina, and I think that they shouldn't fly back, that they should take 95 North and drive back. There's no way they should lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Next, the Seahawks will be taking on division rivals, the St. Louis Rams in St. Louis. I hate to say this. The Seahawks pretty much have the NFC West on lock. They, acquired Jimmy Graham, tight end extraordinaire. Yeah, they just made their offense that much stronger. They re-signed Russell. He had a nice little extension. So, yeah, as much as I would like the Rams to, beat Seattle for my own reasons, it's just not happening. So, Seattle over the Rams. Then the New Orleans Saints are taking on the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. I think the Saints, they'll be all right this season. I just think that they'll have a rocky beginning. I think it'll take their offense a little while to sort of get it together and gel. I'm going to give the win to Arizona just because Arizona needs to win. I don't see them having too many wins this season. The next game on the schedule is the Detroit Lions at the San Diego Chargers. Detroit, they got rid of their defensive center. Well, he's not like the center, but like the defensive center, like what everything was around. Ndamukong Suh, he's now with the Dolphins. So I'm actually not sure how his departure sort of impacts their defense. Their defense was definitely a staple the last few seasons. And so without him being there, I'm interested to see how that will look. Their offense is underwhelming. They still have Megatron, and I think he's injured. But I'm just not overly excited for Detroit. I'm going to give it to the Chargers. I'm going to really stick with my California roots. So it makes sense to just give it to San Diego. The next game is the Tennessee Titans at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. And the one thing that I do know about Tampa Bay is that they are the most hyped team with no wow. All hype, no wow. And I think Tennessee is a team that is trying to turn the corner. And so with that, I'm going to actually give them the win over Tampa Bay. Next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. They're traveling to Oakland to take on the Raiders. And the Raiders, they have a little squad going on. Like, the Raiders are like here to make a name for themselves. I'm actually really surprised and happy for those guys. They're the other Bay Area's team, so I, always want them to win, right? I think what's going to happen with the Raiders, though, is that it's going to take a while for their offense to sort of click. So I don't think they'll win their opener, but I definitely think the next, weeks coming watch out for the Raiders. So I'm going to give it to Cincinnati. Plus, Cincinnati's quarterback looks like Chucky. I can never remember his name, but he looks like Chucky. So I give it to Cincinnati over the Raiders. Then the Baltimore Ravens are traveling west to take on the Denver Broncos. And both the Ravens or the Broncos, those teams are equally yoked. They're really good teams, playoffs every year for the last couple of years. So it's going to be a good game. I can't imagine Peyton Manning losing the season opener at home. Since there's only one Harbaugh left in the league, I would like Harbaugh to win, Big Brother John, but I'm going to give the edge to Denver because I just can't imagine them losing against the Ravens season opener at home. This is potentially a playoff game, right? Like, we may see these two teams, in 18 weeks playing each other in the postseason. And then the last game on Sunday is the New York Giants taking on the Dallas Cowboys. And Dallas, they had a really good season last year. They don't have DeMarco Murray anymore, who was really responsible or a large contributor to their success. So I'm really interested to see how their offense will look now that he's not there. Again, I think that Dallas has been making a name for themselves and really saying, listen, we're coming. We're a serious team. So with that, I'm going to give the win to the Cowboys. Also because the Giants I think they're just, going to play it at the baseline for a couple years. I don't think they'll be playoff contenders anytime soon. On Monday, we have two games, which is the Philadelphia Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons. That's the first game. And DeMarco Murray. I was going to call him DeMarco Murray. I don't know why. DeMarco Murray is now the running back for the Eagles. So I'm actually excited to see how they adjust their offense to him. I'm never really too concerned about Philly. They're just a team that's not really threatening to me. And then the Atlanta Falcons, I think that their team has been together a little bit longer, so it might be business as usual for those guys. So I'm going to give the win down to Atlanta. And then the last game for Monday of week 1 is the Minnesota Vikings and the San Francisco 49ers in Santa Clara. And that was Shade. It's nice to see that Adrian Peterson is back. Last year he had some legal issues with dealing with child abuse charges. So it's nice to see that, number one, he stayed with Minnesota, and two, that he's actually going to play. So that's nice. I just don't know what else to expect from Minnesota outside of seeing Adrian Peterson. He's definitely up there in age, so I can't imagine that they'd run him into the ground. The 49ers, as much as I love them, and I just don't want to say it, the truth is the truth. They've been a train wreck. And so the only way that I can see them not being a train wreck this season is if they win the season opener at home. If the 49ers can't win this game at home, I literally don't know what to say for the organization this year. So with that, on a hope and a prayer, I'm going to give the win to the 49ers. So those were my week 1 predictions. Tune back in to see next week, number 1, my week 2 predictions and how well I did with week 1. Yeah, ciao.